Ladies and gentlemen, on matters the burial of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, a lot is currently happening in the political scene. This is due to the news that were unraveled yesterday to us and to the public at large, where we were informed that the burial of Raila Odinga will be a private affair, where only the government delegates and the close family members and relatives will be given a chance to lay off or send off Raila Odinga at his home in Bondo town. And this has stirred up a certain conversation on social media. Why? The death of Raila Odinga came to us unexpected. Raila Amolo Odinga has been the father of the people of the Luo Nyanza and the whole Republic of Kenya and Africa at large. How comes that they are telling us that Raila Amolo Odinga's burial will be a private affair? Yet Raila Amolo Odinga was not a private person. He was a public property. Raila Amolo Odinga did not belong even to his wife alone. He didn't belong to the Jaramogi Oginga family alone. He belonged to the whole country. And now they're telling us that a leader like Raila Amolo Odinga will be buried privately. To begin with, I shall give you examples. The burial of the first president of the Republic of Kenya, our founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, was one of the biggest burials to have ever been seen in the 254. Then came the burial of Kijana Wamalwa in the year 2002. Then, as a serving deputy president or a serving vice president after he died in London, UK, receiving treatment. The burial of Wamalwa Kijana. It was so humongous because then they had only taken up the government with Mwai Kibaki. And Kijana Wamalwa was given a befitting send-off of a king that he was. After Kijana Wamalwa came the burial of the second president of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. And Moi also was given a public send-off that he deserved. After Moi came our third president, Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki's Odaya home was flooded from every corner. Delegates and relatives, friends and followers from every walk of life came to bury Mwai Kibaki. Now it is the turn of the greatest of them all, a man whose charisma, energy, and political influence has touched every corner of the Republic of Kenya. He is better than Jaramogi Oginga, better than Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, better than Mwai Kibaki in his way, better than Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, better than any other politician that has ever graced our land. The burial of Tom Mboya, the burial of Agweng Skodek, the burial of none other than Jaramogi, the burial of people like Tom Mboya, those burials were public burials. And now they tell us that Raila Amolo Odinga is not going to receive such a send-off. He is going to be accorded a private burial. Kenyans have said no. Now this is what Miguna had to say in matters Raila Amolo Odinga being buried privately. He says the funeral and burial rites are universally conducted in accordance with the governing cultural norms and traditions. Luo culture demands that someone of Raila Odinga's caliber must be given a public send-off as prescribed by the Luo culture. I have seen some people argue that Queen Elizabeth II and the Pope were buried in private ceremonies. Let us remind them that neither the Queen nor the Pope were Luos. Customs and traditions we must not accept colonial practices to take over our morals, traditions, and customs. As for those who argue that Raila Odinga or the Odinga family owes Kenyans nothing, let me remind them that everything members of the Odinga family have and enjoy the power, influence, wealth, and privileges emanate directly from the people. For those arguing about the will, let me remind them that we have not seen or read it, nor have we seen the advocate who read it in the presence of all beneficiaries as required by the law. After all, no one has claimed that Raila Odinga wanted to be buried as a boy who died in his father's homestead. Some of these issues are too consequential to be left to opportunists, hypocrites, and transactional dealers. Because more so we know, the reason why they don't want a public burial is because they know Babu Owino, that function might be the coronation ceremony of Babu Owino taking over the mantle as the Luo kingpin in the Luo Nyanza politics. And so they tend to do shoddy backdoor deals to try and make sure that Babu or any other politician loved by the people of the Luo Nyanza don't get a chance to address the people or to show up at the burial of Raila Odinga. We saw the burial of Otieno Kajwang. I mean, why should the burial of Raila Odinga, the mentor of Otieno Kajwang, not be times 10 to that of Otieno Kajwang? Because when Otieno Kajwang died, our hearts bled. Our mind were flabbergasted. We could not think properly of how ODM was going to function without Otieno Kajwang. But Raila kept us moving. Now Raila is gone. The only person left to fix the pieces in ODM is Babu Owino. But they don't want that to happen, and that is why they are saying it's a private affair. Now, Miguna finishes by saying some of these issues are too consequential to be left to opportunists, hypocrites, and transactional dealers. Raila Odinga must be given a befitting send-off as a Luo elder. He cannot be buried in secret like a thief. The public and state agencies are argued to exercise absolute restraint and decorum during the entire process. Period. And he concludes by saying, remember, the Tomboy and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga were given public send-offs. Ruto and his state minions cannot change Luo customs and traditions. Some of us reject convenient shortcuts and cultural adulteration. Only truth and courage will set us free. Meguna concludes by saying, Teroburu, the chasing away of evil spirits, and Gweo, diges by elderly Luo men are mandatory in Luo culture and must be conducted in the burial of Raila Odinga. And we also concur, Raila deserves a public send-off. He was never a private person. Raila was ours as he was the son to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Raila was our father as he was the father to Fidel, to Rosemary Odinga, to Winnie Odinga, to Raila Jr. That is what we are saying. A public send-off is what this hero of ours deserves. Joey, 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 long live the king, long live the crown. Down the trains of Mexico. Yes, farewell Jamaica. As we say, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, oh, son, to say, I am on my way. My heart is down, my head is spinning around. I am to live a little girl in Kingston town. See you again, Baba. Or do you say, followers and lovers of this content that we do? Tell me, what is your take on matters Raila Odinga being given a private send-off? Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report. My good name is F.K. Mwenda.